Meeting minutes for July 18th.
Motion to table.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Moving into comment period. All we do from the public, go ahead.
We have Ms. Adadara.
Yep.
Yes.
Good morning.
She is on my list here for a reissue disposition with a current date.
I'm sorry.
And that is 7I. A
Thank you.
reissue disposition with a current date. Okay, so she is looking for a reissue disposition with a current date, as the disposition notice went to the previous owner. I think when the appeal went into place by the school district, it was in the previous owner's name. However, that's the disposition. It went to a whole different address, so she's looking to get a reissue disposition with a current date.
Okay. Any questions from the board?
I have no question. I don't have a problem.
And may I have a motion?
I would move, it was 7I, reissue disposition with the current date, parcel ID 449B14.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved.
All right. You don't have to stick around if you don't like. I will provide you with that reissue disposition with the current date.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for coming to
Let's
visit.
see what else we have in the room here.
Okay, moving on. Who else from the public do we have?
So we do have Ms. Tersick, that's with Mr. Jim Euler's office. She has a couple of requests as well. That's on my list, and it's 7J.
So I had a chance to look at your report, Ms. Baldwin, and I would request that we table 7J for further investigation, so we can make sure that we have the right action that we need to do for that.
Okay.
So I would actually table that.
So both of them?
Yes.
Okay.
I want to make sure that the board takes the right action on those.
So you can review them and let.
Correct.
Yes.
So noted.
7J.
And who do we have next?
I'm just looking to see if we have Mr. Yoder on the line, Brad Yoder. He is on the
He's
line with us today, yes. So he is on, let me just take a look here, and I apologize, I have a number of items on the list here.
Mr. Yoder.
That is
See you in a while.
7H. Request to conform a timely file 2022 appeal application to a 2023 appeal application for parcel ID 1 N as in Nancy 281.
Okay, so you got H, correct?
Yes,
All right.
we are looking at H. And Mr. Yoder and his office associate, Ms. Susan Porter, had placed multiple requests with BPAAR regarding this matter. Let me see feedback here. I do apologize here. So they have placed multiple requests to conform a timely filed 2022 appeal, 2023 appeal application.
Hold on a second. Mr. Yoder's, I think, trying to say something.
No, everybody just needs to be muted because we're getting.
We should.
I think, yeah,
Okay.
It doesn't sound like he was even talking.
Just feedback.
You
I think everything's muted.
Yeah.
There's
appear to
someone,
be.
there's someone in the waiting room though.
You can see it. Sorry.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So that is a little bit inaccurate. What had happened was, if we're talking about 7H, this was appealed by the prior owner for 2022. My client purchased this property on January 3rd of 2023. So when we filed inaccurately the 22 and 23 appeal, the 22 appeal was already in play and it's settled at the Board of Viewers. Our request is that we, through some miscommunication between us and the client, we're trying to appeal 23. And because it was already under appeal in 22, it got thrown out. But we felt that it was a timely appeal for 23. That was the intent. So my client's position is that they feel entitled to be heard for the year 23.
Mr. Yoder, can I ask you, when was BOV's determination for the 22?
I'm looking that up.
Stipulation.
It was in 2023.
And just for the board's edification, the reason I'm asking is if BOV issued a determination in 2023, that would divest us of jurisdiction for 2023.
No, it was only for 22.
What year did they issue the stipulation? What year did BOV decide the case?
I apologize. I don't believe I have formal notification of that.
Then I would ask that we table this until we can find that out, because that's a jurisdictional threshold question for me.
We need to know what year.
Is there anyone able
Is it on
to,
base?
yeah.
You might be able.
Okay.
Public meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not gonna do people's research for them.
Yeah.
So we're gonna table
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
item.
Eight.
I think we have
Can we ask them to send us?
Yeah, you can certainly.
Let me see if I can pull that up.
Mr. Yoder, we're just going to table it and move on, and we'll address it at our next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, anything else, anyone else from the public?
Yes, 7G, last name Schmidt. There was apparently a number of dispositions that weren't received on our end, this being one of them. And we were requesting that the disposition be reissued with a current date so that we might be able to file a timely appeal.
Ms. Barbara, was the addresses wrong?
Yes, they did not go to the correct address. And I have a copy of that here. I think it was what's your address? Your correct address?
2605 Glenchester Road.
They did not get the dispositions. They were not to the correct address.
That would be administrative breakdown. We can read it. There'd be a motion to reissue with a current date.
Yeah, may I have a motion, please?
Motion to reissue the current date for parcel ID 1347G275.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. All right, Mr. Yoder, you'll get a copy of that.
That's Mr. Schmidt.
I'm sorry?
Mr. Schmidt.
Oh, I'm sorry. Looked like Mr. Yoder was talking. I apologize. Mr. Schmidt, that will be issued to you. You'll get it in the mail.
Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. Moving on.
All right. Have a good day. Thank you very much, everybody.
We had a few more cases.
I'm sorry, could you identify yourself, please?
Yes, sorry, this is Nina Tursick with Allegheny County Tax Appeal LLC.
Ms. Tersick, our board solicitor, Ms. Shrimp, has requested the board to table both 1654A as an apple, 54 and 917C as in Charlie 25.
Okay, that was 1654A as an apple 54. Is that what you said?
Yes, and I also have on here 917C as in Charlie 25.
Yeah, so we can't address that one either.
No, they're both going to be tabled.
No, they're both going to be tabled so that the board is able to review and make sure they're going to make the correct action.
Okay, so would we plan on being on the next meeting? Because I have the homeowner on the
I
call.
would say
as well,
yes.
That one. Okay, Mrs. Chesno is on the call here this morning as well. She's the owner for 917C25. So I just want to make sure I have an answer for her.
Okay.
So that'll be the next meeting. And then I had two more here. I'm not sure if we were addressing them today. I can't see the bottom of the list there, but it was 946E as in Edward 5.
They're not on the agenda.
Okay, and how about 1367S as in Sam 260?
It's not on the agenda either. It's only the two items that are the parcels that I just read into the record.
Okay, no problem. So we will wait to hear from the county or plan on being on the next meeting for those two.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Next.
That's all that I have in the public.
Okay. Moving on. Excuse me. Appeals Department report. Ms. Brown?
My report.
Oh, I'm sorry. My apologies. Solicitors report, Ms. Brown.
I'll make it easy. I don't have any written report. I don't require any board action, except I would request an executive session after this meeting to discuss possible litigation.
Okay, we will make that happen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Again, Appeals Department, Ms. Brown.
Good morning. So you've received, I hope, the copy of the report for tax year 2020 through and including tax year 2024. We are continuing to move ahead with still scheduling appeals. There's a little bit of a break in time because of the timing of getting notifications to the property owners. So the appeal hearings will start up again the 12th, and we are scheduled through the 21st of August. And we also have exemption hearings scheduled on August 30th. As of this morning, we have received 5 appeal applications for tax year 2025 through the portal, and we are awaiting possibly many more. And that's all I have.
What was the problem with the notices going out?
Well, so we were doing a clean scrub of everything. And again, if they were postponements, we had the window of opportunity to send the notices with at least 2 to 3 weeks notice. But if they were new or first time filed appeals that had been possibly suspended for whatever reason, we needed to still be able to give that property owner ample time to prepare for the hearing. And I believe it is the board's rule that residential hearings need 21-day advance notice and commercial 30.
Okay, thank you for this. Thank you for the explanation.
You're welcome.
All right, moving on. Items from OPA, Ms. Brooks.
Good morning, everyone. I do not have any items to discuss today.
Thank you. Then back to you, Ms. Baldwin, regarding items for consideration from the board.
Sure. The first couple is at the top of our list is rescind and reissues. The first one is for Ms. Bonnie Book. This was just nothing more than a clerical error. It appears that, I'm just looking at my report here, it appears as though that there was a typo. Her value after her appeal hearing should have been 117,200, which was the, the CLR application was applied. The land would have been 23,400 and building 93,800. But it appears that an error was made in the typing because the land, the disposition that went out, the land was 234,000. And the building was 93,800, giving a total of 327,800. So that was an error.
We added a 0.
Yes. Yeah. So definitely at a 0. So that value should, and this is for parcel ID 445J240 for tax year 2024. Again, the value to be rescinded is 327,800. And the value to be reissued is 117,200. For that one. I don't know if we want to take it in one motion or not, because both of these are just rescinds and reissues. We could take it in one motion or just one.
That's fine.
Okay. The other is Mr. Garbage. Mr. Snipe did an administrative review of his request regarding the results of his disposition. It appears that in conclusion of that review that an appraisal was submitted, and Mr. Snipe took that appraisal into consideration with the CLR applied. So the value to be rescinded is the no change of 211,200. And the value to be reissued is 160,800. And the 295,000, which was in the appraisal with the application or the CLR applied, would bring it to 160,800. And that's for parcel ID 435E80.
Okay.
And that's it?
That's it for these rescinds and reissues.
We can bundle those?
Yes.
Yeah. Could you read those parcel IDs
Sure.
before I make my motion?
Sure. The first one is for Mr. Gervich, and that's 435E80. And then next one is for Miss Bonnie Book, which is 445J240.
And they were both rescinders reissue?
Yes.
So then I would move that we approve those rescind reissue on what our board administrator just said. Delegate.
All in favor? Any opposed? Both are so moved. Thank you.
All right, moving along here. 7C, request to rescind and rehear. That's a request from Mr. Michael Werner. And it's for parcel ID 48E200. His client submitted a timely postponement prior to the scheduled hearing, which was May 13th of 2024. His client submitted a request for postponement, which was timely and was confirmed by OPA, and that was May 3rd when he sent his request in. However, the hearing went through, the appeal went through the hearing process, and it was now at 04A. So we have to rescind. We're requesting that the board rescind and rehear that appeal.
And I move that we do that, rescind and rehear.
Thank you.
Could you read the parcel ID?
The parcel ID number is 48E200.
So,
In favor? Aye. Any opposed? So moved.
The next one is a request to rescind and rehear as well. Mr. Birdie, attorney for his clients, stopped into BPAAR's office to indicate that his client did not receive adequate notice of the hearings because he never received the notices. The address in county records is Cabin Cove, and Cove is it's abbreviated CV when it should have been COVE. He did not receive his notices because Cove was abbreviated. It's an address in Las Vegas, but he said He never received them
Is
at all.
Cove like street? It's,
Yes.
okay,
Oh,
so like boulevard.
Well, that's what it was abbreviated as a street or boulevard, but it isn't. It's actually Kevin Cove, the street name.
All right, anybody wish to offer a motion?
To rescind and rehear parcel ID 131M 18, 20, and 22.
Okay.
All in favor? Any opposed? Again, so moved.
Thank you. The next one was a late file appeal for parcel ID 131G85, and this was for Mr. Nurnberg. So this was reviewed probably about a month ago, and I was asked to go back and see if they had any record of filing for a 2023, and he did not have any evidence of that. So we were going to take it as a non-proton for 2020, or treat it as a timely non-proton for 2024.
Correct, so just to give the board a little bit of clarity on this, this was a late filed appeal request for 2023 that was lurking around and in cleanup in some of the piles of transition between your former solicitor and myself. I was able to review it, and we checked to make sure there was no timely file for 2023.
Right.
So we figured we would treat this as a timely file 2024 appeal because it came in prior to the 2024 deadline. So we will deny the non-proton for 2023, and we will grant it as a timely filed appeal for 2024. That's a fair thing to do there. It's parcel 131G as in George 85.
Got it. And that is under 7E for those
Yes.
participating. Anybody care to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to file 2023 appeal.
So it's a motion to deny the non-proton for 2023, but grant a timely filed appeal for 2024. So what I said.
Yeah, what she said.
For lot block 131G85.
Thank you. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
And any opposed? So moved.
All right, 7F is a reissue disposition with the current date for parcel ID 1995G10. Mr. I think it's Wydick wrote into BPAAR indicating that he did not receive the disposition because it went to an incorrect address. And that is, he is correct because I pulled the disposition. His address is 3022 Almond Place, but the notice went to 3020 Almond Place. So he's looking to get a reissued disposition so that he can appeal to the BOV. And we'll have to correct that address in our records before, if the board so chooses to approve his request.
So we are going to, or we are requesting to
Reissue.
reissue the disposition.
Okay, yes, sir.
And again, this is item 7F.
Correct.
and I will move that we reissue disposition with a current date on parcel ID 995G10.
1995G.
G.
I don't have my read.
All in favor? Any opposed? So moved.
It's not.
So I'm going to type for CV, yes.
Mr. Bear, go ahead.
Ms. Baldwin, anything else?
Just, and last on my list is 7K is the BPAAR rules and regulations.
Okay.
What about H? Oh, no, we already did H.
Yes, we tabled those.
Okay.
Yes.
And what are we requesting for item K?
Discussion, you guys got copies of some proposals and
Okay,
I don't know where you're at with them. I looked at them, I forwarded them around, I made some changes just so maybe they don't need to be updated every single year unless we want to make changes. So I changed it from like tax year 2024 to applicable tax year. Because it kind of makes sense, like why are we just
Yeah.
making changes to change the year every year? So,
Here's where my confusion is. I had this on the agenda for 2 months. And I was told that we approved it months ago
we did, this
Okay.
is this is for
for
2025.
25.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't say.
Yeah, this is for 25. We
Okay.
approved those in February.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
wasn't sure what tax year that we really
Okay, I
were
thought it was
talking
my-
about right
Not
now.
reading glasses.
No, we approved,
2025.
right, this is for 2025.
Yes,
And what I tried to do was to make them so we don't have to approve them every year.
very good.
Because I feel like that's redundant.
I would like to move that we accept what you sent us on the 2025 rules and regulations. So
Second.
no discussion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved.
So Ms. Ball, we can send those over to county council.
Those for 2025.
Yeah, the ones that
Okay.
that I just forwarded out, we can send those over.
Copy us.
Right.
Right. So, and we'll talk after.
And is that all you have for us? today?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to the board approval lists. We have for tax year 2024, list starting with parcel ID 524, A Apple 274, and of 1074 C Charlie 276. We have, this is starting for tax year 2023, we're starting with, excuse me, first parcel ID 1322 H area 85. For tax year 2022, a list starting with parcel ID number 1223 L 81. And last, for tax year 2022 Y, first parcel ID starting with 1322 H area 25.
85.
I'm sorry?
85.
I'm sorry, 85.
You have glasses.
Going down the list, Mr. Snipe, do you have any polls or recusals?
I have none.
Ms. Beonzo,
None for me.
Ms. Ara,
None for me.
Mr. Solis.
No,
I have none. And a motion, please.
I move that we approve the full board approval list that you just read with those items. So moved.
You want to reread them?
No, I don't have my glasses.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
You had a motion, I don't know you had a second, yeah.
Okay.
Good. I'm looking at this one.
Moving on, old business.
That is actually what I'd like to discuss in executive session, because it's
Okay.
it needs a little bit more.
Let me ask you a question. If you sent it to the judge yet,
No, because and that's what I want to talk about in executive session.
well, you can talk about it in the executive session, but I'm upset. We passed this. And this is, I have a number 4 on there. I think, you know what? It's been on the agenda.
I
The
understand.
board gave you a directive. Why did you not send it?
It becomes.
Oh, because you don't want anyone to know.
No, I'll tell you why I didn't send it,
Tell us.
because I'm trying to get consent from the 2 taxing bodies who are the 2 people who are actually.
Was that part of
litigants.
the directive from this board? No, it was not. You shouldn't be talking to the PPS solicitor.
I was talking to
Ms. Schramm.
PPS and Mr. Silvestri. I was speaking with them both.
I don't
because
care.
They are
That
the.
wasn't the motion.
But-
I don't need their, are they consultants on this?
Well, I need to know if they're going to oppose it, because I need to
I
know
don't
how to
care.
present it to the
Oh.
court.
Should I amend my motion that you continue to consult with outside consultants on
It's
this
not-
directive?
It's not a consultant, it's not a consultation. It was, are they going to consent or not consent to the motion?
You sent an email the other day that I'm just concerned that you haven't discussed any of this publicly. And you sent an email to the board. And it's not privileged because I received it. And all I'm asking is why? I thought you would just copy and paste, send it to the judge.
But
That was-
but that's not how it works.
Well, here's how it works, Mr. Trump. The board unanimously said, you read the motion.
And I drafted a
Now
motion.
you've altered the motion.
No, I drafted a motion.
Did we ask you to consult with the Pittsburgh Public School solicitor.
Mr. Sully, when you present a motion in open court, you provide notice to opposing counsel. You
Okay,
must do that. That's
but
under
you
the
didn't do
rules.
it, did you?
I did. Mr. Silvestri and Mr. Delacorte both got notice of the motion. I was asking them each, would they consent to the
Did
motion?
the judge see the
Or
motion?
would they, I haven't presented it to the judge because I needed to know from Mr. Delacorte and Mr. Silvestri, let me finish, if I was going to present it as contested or uncontested. And this is what I wanted to talk with you guys about in executive session, if you want me to proceed with that route. Because from feedback from both Mr. Silvestri and Mr. Delacorte, they believe Judge Hertzberg will deny the motion. And that's what I would like to talk with you guys about in executive session, to see if there's a different vehicle to accomplish what you would like to accomplish and get it done, rather than us go to court and get denied.
You're aware that Mr. Delacorte from the Pittsburgh School District has been presenting this as evidence in appeal hearings,
He advised me of that when we were,
to the exclusion of everyone else in Allegheny County, right?
but that's not, that's a different issue than what we're talking about here.
It's the same issue.
Mr. Sully, like, I have to advise opposing counsel that I'm gonna present a
We
motion.
will have our executive session, but I would like to ask that the board not adjourn, have our executive session, and come out of it with whatever
Sure.
is done. That I just have I'm not an attorney, but I've never had a board solicitor not follow the directive of the board.
I have been following your directive. The motion is drafted. Mr. Silvestri and Mr. Delacorte both have copies of it. The question was, do we present it as opposed or contested or uncontested? And because they both were going to contest it, and they both have advised me that they both believe that Judge Hertzberg will deny it, I had another proposal to bring to this board to accomplish your purpose that might work better than your directive.
The judge could have denied this a month ago, and we could have gone on to Plan B without consulting with outside.
I still would have had to advise them. Like, I'm not
I just
consulting.
have, there are ethical concerns on my end. I'm not accusing you
But there's
of this.
no.
We
you
just
must not
found
provide
out, the
counsel.
last meeting I asked you about this.
And I
The
told you
meeting
that,
prior to that,
I know,
and you said I'm working on it.
and I
But I
was.
didn't know what working on it meant until now. We will discuss this, Ms. Shropton.
Thank you.
I think you now know where I'm coming from.
I do. I do.
And I'm finished.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so via this exchange, are we going to hold over the?
We won't adjourn. We will just recess to executive session.
And that's permissible, right? You can do that.
Absolutely.
If we adjourn after that without any motions or anything,
Right, if there's no official action to come out, we just won't come back.
yeah.
All right, moving on. Do we have any other old business that needs to be discussed? Then we'll move into new business. We have responsibility of scheduling hearings for OPA and BPAAR.
My question is, for many years, this has been something that has always been an issue. We just heard a report that OPA did not schedule hearings, appeal hearings for 2024. Tomorrow, all of next week. All right, we're creating a backlog. There's not one appeal hearing scheduled next week. And I was in, I think, Friday, and I asked Ms. Baldwin. She said that she found out that there were no hearings, right?
Right.
And when did you find out that there were no hearings as our administrator?
Well, you know what, I don't have a schedule of the hearings for August 12th until Ms. Brown sent it.
When did she send it?
It was just yesterday or the day before with the schedule of hearings for August 12th. But I also know that in the meeting, it was indicated that, you know, we wouldn't have hearings until August 12th because of what Ms. Brown indicated today.
And Ms. Baldwin, I asked you to ask them that question, because that's where that question came from.
Correct.
And Mr. Snow brought it up, but I'm not satisfied with the question. Everyone that appeals, there's a 21-day and 30-day notice. You know, that excuse that, well, we missed the 21-day. And I'm not accusing OPA of anything. I'm looking at us. We are the problem. And I'm going to make a motion and we can have discussion. And I'm going to read my motion. I want to move that OPA administration, staff, all the way through the OPA manager, Carolyn Brooks, report to our BPAAR administrator, that our solicitor no longer be involved in the administration of the BPAAR. That you act as our solicitor and work on legal issues. So moved.
Second.
Okay.
Can I ask for clarification?
Sure.
I am Barbara's backup for emergency postponements. Do you want me to
See,
continue to
if
do?
Barbara comes to you, fine. If Barbara should report to the chairman on a regular basis, and the chairman can tell us what's going on. But what I think happens, I don't want to go over a laundry list, and you and I talked about, and it's not fair to you, Ms. Trout. I'm not,
I don't want to.
this isn't personal, but the history, we're having discussion, okay? Isabel Storch was the first solicitor of BPAAR, and she was the administrator. Dave Montgomery was the administrator. I was OPA manager in the 2000s, and Mr. Montgomery would meet privately with the administration, which I thought was a serious conflict. And I caught Mr. Pilarski, who's our county manager, at one point coming out of a meeting with the, and I asked him, what's going on? And he said, well, the board doesn't want to meet with you. I said, well, you didn't meet with the board, you met with the solicitor privately. Shouldn't the board? And he got, angry. When you were appointed, I even said, I don't want you being the administrator. And you said you don't. So I'm relieving you of that responsibility. The administration of the county's appeal system falls on our board administrator, Ms. Baldwin, sink or swim. And that's how my father had a saying, 90% of all of our problems are miscommunication. And I think there are times when you two aren't communicating. I find out and I go to Barbara or you and you're not communicating. And what I'm saying is people have to know who's in charge of the scheduling. And I think if OPA, let me finish, this is part, I know, all right? As our solicitor, it's a legal question or is it administrative? Because as a board member, I made the motion and I'm talking to the board members and hoping that they understand what I'm looking at. There are situations where we're not getting the information correctly. And I just want to know what's going on. I'm not the bad guy.
Mr. Sully, did somebody ask me about scheduling appeals and I answered? Like I'm confused that you bringing up scheduling of appeals.
All right, then I will bring this up. There are times I've talked to OPA personnel and they said, well, Mike, I have to talk to Amy. I want to end that.
Okay.
I don't want them talking to you.
Okay.
I want them talking to Ms. Baldwin.
Fair. And I'm because nobody asked me about scheduling any appeals, so I was confused.
But this was like the last straw. I have a laundry list of where there was miscommunication. I think we're doing a great job. I've been here 10 months but change is good. I think for the first time in 24 years, BPAAR and OPA will be able to communicate with one person. That's the purpose of my goal. That's my goal. The purpose of this is that if there's miscommunication, I'll be talking to Ms. Baldwin at a public meeting down the road if there's a problem. It would be on her. But I think OPA just don't run things by.
It's nothing. Supposedly there's been a massive prisoner swap U.S. and Russia. I guarantee you, Mark Vogel is not included.
Chuck Berry, Mr. Berry.
What will be interesting.
Hold on.
Mr. Berry, we can hear the conversation in our public meeting.
My apologies.
Please mute. Thank you. I lost my train of thought, but
And Mike, I
pretty
appreciate
much.
that. I just thought maybe that somebody said I was involved with that scheduling and
No,
didn't.
it's
That's why I
just
was
part
confused.
of the fabric of
I don't want to.
how we're not communicating.
Yeah, I don't want to be the board.
I'm not pointing fingers at OPA or BPAAR right now. All I'm saying is maybe this will clean this administrative side up where the go-to person would be our administrator, Ms. Baldwin. And you agree with me?
Please,
Yeah, I want you to be our solicitor.
please. And that's the reason, the only reason I was asking this, because like, let's say Ms. Baldwin is absent. Currently, then emergency postponements come to me. Do you want that practice to continue, or do you want it to go to your board chair or to someone else?
You discussed this as, you know,
If we're gonna make a motion here, we need to
If-
clarify.
well,
the
I'll
details.
clarify. The chairman, the vice chair, either one of you could just sign off on it. But if Ms. Baldwin is given the authority, none of you have to be bothered. I think, how long have you been here, Ms. Baldwin?
7 years.
Okay.
I'm
Don't
saying
you
when she's
agree?
absent.
What?
Like, I'm saying when she's, the only time I grant emergency postponements is when Barb texts me and says, hey, Amy, I'm not gonna be here today.
Okay,
And then we get an emergency
you
postponement that
contact the
day.
chair
Okay, so now it's gonna be the chair, not me. I just wanted to make it clear.
or the vice chair.
Because it has always
And
been.
we'll put it in writing.
I
Are
just
you
wanted to be-
okay with that, Mr. Snyder? If you want the solicitor to do it, I'm okay with that.
I'm fine with the solicitor doing it, because it's not gonna be on a regular basis. This is on an emergency basis.
Okay, I'm fine with
It
that.
is just I just wanted to clarify, because
Okay.
that's really the
You
only.
know what, that isn't what
administrative
I'm, you know,
task I get.
that's an administrative that, okay? And again, over time, we will modify, you know, change is good. So that is my motion. I just hope that the board members consider that we speak in one voice, one administrator, that the Office of Property Assessments knows that we have one administrator and one chairperson. And that's how this works. So moved. And you seconded it. Any discussion from the board members?
No, I think we're clear on what we agreed upon. Our solicitor will still be the emergency backup.
Fine.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with that too. And we'll, you know, we have the OPA staff, Ms. Brooks, you're still there? She's on mute.
I'm still here.
Okay, but that was it. And if there are modifications down the road, no, fine.
I don't want to do it.
I know. I wouldn't want to do it if I were you. This is a
Ms. Brooks,
managed
do you have
function.
anything you want to add in?
Sorry, I couldn't hear that.
Do you have anything you want to add? Anything you want to?
No, I just asked if it's still Amy, that's great. If it's going to be someone else, it's just important that they're timely in their responses.
Okay.
Okay.
Stanza, do you have any questions, input? Again, your motion?
Oh, I already read it.
Yeah, the motion and
Yeah.
second are on the record. You just need to-
Okay.
And the chairperson, the chair is the backup if Amy is in court, right? Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's never been a problem. Good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
So moved.
That's it.
Ms. Baldwin, would you make sure that, you know, detail for detail, what's in this motion, and pass it on to the board members. Thank you.
And we're going to recess to executive session.
Yeah, can you pause that?
I was just going to say that.
I just wanted to clarify there was a recess.
It is a recess, so we need to deal with this by either
No.
closing a session or moving to another room to do this.
Yeah, can we pause? I'm not a Teams
There's not a
expert.
way to.
Can we pause this or just have a second recording?
We can just have a second recording.
Why don't we do that?
We just reopen
Okay.
the meeting.
Anybody who's remotely coming in, we will close this down and we'll be coming back on as soon as our executive session is complete.